A 2024 study published in Science Advances analyzed plastic pollution across 84 countries. It found that together, 5 major companies accounted for nearly 25% of the branded plastic items identified. These companies were Nestle, Pepsi, Danone, Coca-Cola, and Altria. In our last video, we traced the growth of Coca-Cola and its switch to plastic containers. With the publicly known damages plastic has caused the earth from products like these, how is it that the world still blames the individuals instead of the producers? Well, in the 1950s, plastic companies were running into a wall. They were producing tons of disposable packaging and seeing their profits rise higher and higher. But on the flip side, a major issue was growing. See, there was so much trash being tossed around that communities quite literally started overflowing. With waste controlling the streets, cities and states began threatening to outright ban single-use containers. Public outrage was spreading. Tension was bubbling to the surface. And it seemed like this could be the end for these massive packaging companies. That was until a truly brilliant plan came into effect. Industry-backed organizations began promoting a different approach. Instead of framing packaging waste as a systemic design issue that needed to be fixed immediately, companies framed it as a personal moral failure and a global obligation. This single change in perspective led to the birth of the Litterbug campaigns, a simple poster featuring a tiny bug throwing trash with the slogan, "Don't be a litterbug." Many variations of the slogan passed around the world, from the UK's "Keep Britain Tidy" to Australia's "Do the Right Thing." Campaigns were incredibly successful, shifting public criticism away from the businesses themselves and onto the ordinary civilian. However, with more trash piling up and no real action being taken, the crisis was bound to reach its breaking point. In 1987, New York was running out of places to store its trash. They sent a barge loaded with more than 3,100 tons of municipal garbage looking for a new place to dump. Of course, this trash was rejected by multiple states and several countries, but it just showed how desperate the situation was becoming. With pollution climbing and desperation setting in, panic spread across the globe, and yet again, plastic-producing companies found themselves in jeopardy of losing their money-making machine. So how could they take it one step further while completely removing public concern? Well, give the people a specific purpose, something to stand for, and they will work to make it happen. This is where the true spirit of recycling came into effect. If corporations refuse to stop their plastic production, then maybe they could get the public to reduce the amount of plastic they wasted, so companies could continue their operations. And while the idea of global recycling partially works, it completely ignores the fact that with so many corporations making plastic every second around the clock, it is practically impossible to assume that recycling could remove all the waste from our planet. When you recycle, where does that plastic actually go? When you throw material into a recycling bin, a local truck picks up the items. They get sent to a waste management facility where they are collected and stored among tons of other trash. But here's what most people don't know. The OECD's Global Plastic Outlook estimated that in 2019, only 9% of global plastic was ultimately recycled. Reports by NPR indicate that for Americans, the amount of plastic actually turned into new things have fallen to new lows of around 5%. They state that this number is actually expected to drop further as more plastic is produced. So why is it that only a fraction of the plastic we recycle is truly being recycled? Unfortunately, just because you toss something you thought was recyclable into the bin doesn't mean it met the specified qualification. What are these specified qualifications? Well, to make things simple, plastic must successfully pass through a rigid checklist of resin type, physical shape, cleanliness, market demand, and local infrastructure capabilities. If it passes all those benchmarks, then, and only then, does it get recycled. The rest may be sent to landfills, incineration, or other disposal pathways, depending on local waste management systems. Now, is this rigorous process really necessary? Surprisingly, it is. While it may seem like complete overkill, it is essential for preventing unwanted plastics from contaminating recycling streams or causing problems during processing. In short, this extra step protects human health and ensures our safety. So while we wish we could recycle everything just because it fits the label, the reality is we can't. Recycling demands absolute perfection, and a business is no different. One smart move builds $1 billion empire. One fatal mistake destroys it all. Up next, you'll see how a single choice ruined the world's mightiest titans.